Disney, Marvel, and Star Wars. They're all united under one umbrella, but will they ever work together? It's happening in Disney parks, but Stan Lee recently talked about the possibility of an Avengers and Star Wars crossover, which sounds a lot like what Patton Oswalt's character in Parks and Recreation thought it should be.
Cut back to the Quinjet, and Reed Richards from the Fantastic Four is piloting it. Oh, it was a fake out. It's him, and we have select members of the X-Men that I thought, in my opinion, were not focused on properly in the earlier films. We have Colossus in there. We have X-23, which is Wolverine's daughter, and then we have a now mind-controlled Sabretooth, and of course Wolverine. So imagine those two going up against Robot Chewbacca, because that's going to happen.
Basically, someone sat down with Stan and brought up actually another idea of his other creations that are actually owned by Fox right now instead of Marvel, Disney, etc. Umbrella.
Yeah.
And then it moved over to the Avengers idea, and he did have certain things to say about it. You will note that Stan Lee is not really in charge of decisions that the Marvel Cinematic Universe makes. I don't know the extent of his involvement, but I know he doesn't have this level of control at this point.
I don't know how many characters you can have in a movie, but obviously the people who produce these things are looking to be as successful as possible. If they feel that incorporating...
Okay, now you've gone off track.
Now I'm just, I don't know.
Incorporating Star Wars with the Marvel characters will be very successful. They'll find a way to do it. Can you imagine Spider-Man saying, "May the Force be with you"? May come to that? It may come to that.
Well, the reason I got off track after a while is that was about as long as his cameos are in every movie. I only got like the 9-second, like, well, whoa.
I mean, if you don't have an Excelsior there to pepper it up, you don't have a point of where you can just refresh yourself on the voice. But yeah, I mean, he's open to the idea. He thinks it's exciting, as I think most people would. I think he had some more to say on the topic, though. "We did it in the comics. I created the Avengers by taking many of our characters and making a team out of them. We can have as many characters join the Avengers as we want to for future movies. That might be fun, too. All of a sudden, Luke Skywalker is an Avenger."
In the Marvel headquarters in New York, they have like a wall, the Avengers wall, with like all the Avengers on it.
Which is like 100 people.
It's just like this really long-ass wall.
Yes, they'll let anyone in the Avengers.
Yeah, and it's great, and it's awesome because it's just like, oh, I mean, look at the cover of this. I guess it's just the Age of Ultron. But that's the great thing about it is they assemble a team, and it's great. And that's what's good about being the person who writes the Avengers. Being Stan Lee, is you can draw on everything. But unfortunately, yeah, in the world of movies now, like Fox owns X-Men and kind of owns Spider-Man and Fantastic Four.
They kind of own Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, but kind of don't.
But that's also, the same actors and storylines can't be in the Disney movies. But Disney is like pulling them together and has done a really good job.
Spider-Man
that whole group, like, who are like overseeing that is just doing a fantastic job of weaving together all these disparate parts. The question is like, the answer is I don't think it's time for Star Wars and the Avengers yet at all.
Something about it just hits me the wrong way, which I think is it doesn't feel true to the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's because I've been conditioned because Star Wars doesn't traditionally do crossovers. Like maybe I think they had like Transformers toys crossed over.
Yeah.
But outside of Disney Infinity, it doesn't really happen. Though we did recently see a crossover between Star Trek and Green Lantern over on the non-Disney side.
I didn't see that.
And it can, I mean, maybe you don't like it as a Star Trek fan, or maybe you don't like it as a Green Lantern fan. Maybe I don't like the idea of either universe being cheapened. But maybe they would find a way to not cheapen it.
Well, the problem is now it becomes about Disney. And it's not about like those individual franchises.
Yeah.
And I think so far Disney, I just don't want it to be about like, we bought you and now play. Even though that's how all little children play with their toys, is like, I have them now, smash. I don't know. I just...
That's how little
it frequently feels weird to me, and people might hate this, but like when the use of alien, like would it be weaved in the same way as like Asgard is, like the same way that like Thor's world is brought? They're just aliens.
That's in Patton Oswalt's character's big rambling speech.
Oh, really?
Yes, it is. Yes. It definitely is. It's very entertaining. It's very fun sounding, but I don't know if that's something I can really get on board with.
Like, that's all you have to do is just it's a galaxy far, far away. We just get there. The long time ago, I don't know, they went through a wormhole to today.
And then, we did the Rainbow Bridge, and it worked out.
Yeah.
And
so the thing is, to quote a preeminent scientist of our time, sometimes people are so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they never stop to think they should.
Wow. Audience, what do you think? Would you be on board with this idea? Let me know why. Maybe you can get me on board. And please comment that below and like and subscribe for more.